in the timeless exploration of wealth, greed, and happiness. Morgan Housel's The Psychology of Money unveils the profound truth that financial success isn't rooted in spreadsheets or stock tips, but in the quirks of human behavior, drawing from history, psychology, and real-life stories. Housel argues that money decisions are deeply personal, shaped by our unique experiences rather than universal rules. He reminds us that while we study economics and finance, it's the soft skills, patience, humility, and self-awareness that truly build lasting wealth. Let's journey through these lessons, as Housel masterfully weaves them into a narrative that challenges our assumptions and inspires wiser choices. Housel begins by asserting that no one's crazy when it comes to money. Our views on finances are forged in the fires of personal history, whether we grew up during booms or busts, in poverty or plenty. For instance, someone who witnessed the Great Depression might hoard cash, while a millennial riding the tech wave sees stocks as a sure bet. These perspectives aren't wrong, they're just different, influenced by the sliver of world events we've lived through. Recognizing this helps us empathize with others' irrational choices and question our own biases, paving the way for better decisions that align with our realities rather than rigid formulas. From there, he delves into the twin forces of luck and risk, which are nothing less than siblings in the game of fortune. Luck isn't just a footnote, it's often the starring role in success stories we attribute solely to skill. Take Bill Gates. His genius is undeniable, but without the rare access to a high school computer in 1968 a privileged few had, he might never have built Microsoft. Conversely, risk lurks in shadows, ready to derail even the brightest plans, as seen in the tragic tale of Kenton Run, Gates' friend who died young and never realized similar potential. Housel urges us to humbly acknowledge these elements, focusing on broad patterns rather than idolizing outliers like billionaires, because replicating pure luck is a fool's errand. Instead, manage what you can. Mitigate risks to survive long enough for good fortune to compound. This leads naturally to the peril of never knowing when enough is enough. In a world of endless comparisons, goalposts keep shifting. Today's millionaire eyes the billionaire next door. Housel recounts the story of Rajat Gupta, a wildly successful executive who risked everything in insider trading, driven by envy despite his vast wealth. Or consider Bernie Madoff, whose Ponzi scheme stemmed from an insatiable hunger for more. The lesson: greed erodes happiness. True contentment comes from defining your own enough, shielding your freedom, family, and peace from the hedonic treadmill where desires escalate endlessly. By avoiding social scorekeeping, we protect what's irreplaceable and find joy in what we already have. Compounding, that quiet miracle, takes center stage next, confounding our intuition with its exponential power. Housel contrasts Warren Buffett, whose fortune ballooned not from superior returns, but from starting young and letting time work its magic over 8 decades, with Jim Simons, a hedge fund wizard whose higher yields couldn't match Buffett's longevity. It's like ice ages. Small temperature drops compound into glaciers. The key is patient small, consistent habits like saving early yield outsized results. Yet, most overlook this, chasing quick wins that interrupt the magic. Embrace long-term thinking, Housel advises, and watch modest efforts transform into monumental wealth. But acquiring riches is one thing, preserving them demands a different mindset altogether. Getting wealthy often involves bold risks and optimism, like entrepreneurs betting big on ideas. Staying wealthy, however, requires frugality, fear, and foresight, planning for black swans that could wipe you out. Housel shares tales of lottery winners who squander fortunes through lavish spending, contrasting them with survivors who build buffers. Survival is the cornerstone. Live below your means, diversify, and cultivate humility to let compounding endure. After all, the best investors aren't the smartest. They're the ones who avoid ruin. Speaking of survival, tales drive the world, those rare, extreme events that make or break outcomes. In investing, you can be wrong half the time and still win big if a few bets pay off massively, like venture capitalists who strike gold on one unicorn amid flops. Housel illustrates with Disney's hits overshadowing misses, or how World War II's chaos birthed economic booms. Luck and risk amplify these tales, so focus on positioning yourself for positive surprises. While cushioning against disasters, it's not about being right always, it's about thriving when the improbable happens. True freedom, Housel posits, is money's greatest gift. Control over your time. Wealth isn't about flashy cars or mansions, but the liberty to pursue passions. Say no to draining jobs, or spend days with loved ones. Studies show happiness peaks with autonomy, not endless work for luxury. Imagine a high earner chained to a desk versus a modest saver who retires early. The latter often wins in fulfillment. Prioritize savings that buy options, not status symbols that trap you in cycles of obligation. Yet, we chase those symbols due to the man at the car paradox. We buy luxuries hoping to impress others, but they rarely care. A Ferrari might turn heads, but admiration fades. People respect humility and kindness more. Housel explains this as ego-driven spending that backfires, leaving us on a treadmill of dissatisfaction. Shift focus inward, build wealth for personal security, not external validation, and discover deeper contentment. Indeed, wealth is invisible. It's the income not spent, the investments quietly growing. We see the rich's yachts, but miss the saver's hidden fortunes. Housel contrasts flashy spenders who go broke with frugal millionaires next door. True riches lie in restraint, saving aggressively, ignoring peer pressure. This unseen wealth provides runway for opportunities, like quitting a bad job or weathering storms. Saving, then, is the bedrock. It's not about income level, but your gap between earnings and ego. High earners who spend lavishly stay poor. Modest ones who save thrive. Housel notes that flexibility from savings lets you wait for ideal investments or pivot careers. Want less? Spend less. And wealth accumulates naturally, unburdened by desires, fueled by comparison. Reasonableness trumps cold rationality in finance, as we're emotional beings. A rational portfolio might crumble under stress, but a reasonable one factoring in sleep at night. Housel advises blending logic with psychology for sustainable plans that stick through volatility. History surprises us constantly, rendering past patterns unreliable guides. Economies evolve with innovations and outliers like pandemics or wars, so don't bet everything on historical returns. Expect change, build flexibility, and remember, the future holds unknowns that mock rigid forecasts. Thus, worship room for error, margins of safety against life's curve. Leverage amplifies gains, but courts ruined. Instead, under-optimize for resilience. Housel cites Graham's investing principles. Assume things will go wrong and plan accordingly, ensuring you survive to play another day. You'll change to goals shift with age, family, or insights. That dream house might become a burden. Aggressive savings could breed regret. Avoid extremes. Opt for balanced plans that accommodate evolution, honoring the end of history illusion, where we underestimate personal growth. Nothing's free. Every financial upside has a toll, like stock volatility or opportunity costs. Embrace these pricey patience for compounding uncertainty for returns rather than dodging them, which often costs more. Beware mismatch games. Investors chase trends from short-term traders, leading to bubbles. Identify your horizon: retirement saver or day trader, and ignore advice from different players. Pessimism seduces with its intellectual allure, sounding smart while optimism feels naive. Yet progress compounds quietly amid dramatic setbacks. Housel warns against over-discounting growth. Balance realism with hope to avoid missing opportunities. We believe appealing fictions, crafting stories to justify risks. Bubbles inflate on narratives, not facts. Think.com hype. Scrutinize your tailies. Base decisions on evidence, not wishful thinking. Pulling it all together, Housel confesses his own approach. Index funds, high savings, long horizons, tailor to your psychology. Be reasonable, save voraciously, respect luck. Money's psychology teaches humility. Wealth builds not from genius, but behavior aligned with timeless truths. In the postscript, Housel reflects on America's unique financial story, from post-war booms to inequalities, reminding us that global contexts shape behaviors. Ultimately, mastering money means mastering yourself, embracing uncertainty, valuing time, and finding happiness beyond the balance sheet. This is the psychology that turns greed into wisdom and wealth into